And if you are too, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. If you're new, thank you so much for stopping by. Just trying to get back into the swing of things over here. I was gone from my space for 4 months, which was double as long as I thought I was going to be gone. I was staying with my parents, helping out after my mom had a knee surgery that did not go as planned. So, I mean, the knee surgery was fine. There were just some other things that happened that were unexpected. So, stayed there, just got back, I mean, literally almost a week ago. So, still, just settling in. There were some things that I even wanted to adjust with how I did these readings. And true to form, even those things are just, they're still being worked out. So, instead of waiting until everything was as perfect as I wanted it to be, because that's generally what I do. And it also generally prevents me from doing a lot of things, because if it's not perfect, then why the F would I do it? So that might be my Virgo moon. I don't know. So we're not doing that this time. It'll just have to catch up to us. So, with all of that being said, this is just going to be more of like a collective overview. I have an oracle deck here that's just going to kind of give us an idea of the energy that we're going to pull from, instead of just kind of cold pulling cards. And I don't generally work with oracle cards. I mean, I have a few oracle decks, but I don't know. I just, for the longest time, I just didn't really feel called or like pulled to use them. And ever since I've been back, I have. So, if you have seen any of my videos before, you've probably heard me say, I'll go wherever the energy takes me as long as it feels good. So that's what we're doing. And I love this deck. I mean, look how beautiful these cards are. Just, oh my gosh. Amazing. Colorful. Oh. Chills. Love them. And then I think it's just kind of a cool juxtaposition against the Tarot of the Abyss, because it's in black and white pretty much. So I don't know. I think that will look cool. So like I said, we're going to pull, or we're going to shuffle the deck, just kind of see what comes out with the oracle. We'll shuffle the tarot. I'm not entirely sure. We'll just see how it goes. Sometimes I pull the cards, sometimes I let them come out, because whatever. We'll see how it goes. And also, I just wanted to mention that I am working on opening the schedule again for personal readings. Again, I kind of shut those down for the last 4 months. I am working on getting those available again, so I'll let you know when I do have those up. I have an Etsy store, and I'll link it below. I carry a lot of the tarot cards that I use. I carry those decks. Otherwise, there's handmade stuff in there, just some goodies, like these wood bowls. Oh my gosh, I love these. There's the moon. Oh my gosh, obsessed. Those are in there. Check it out. Would love the support, but I would love even more if you just threw a ton of love in there. Set the intention, you know. So like I said, that'll be linked below. Last thing, I am just pumped to get back into the groove of doing the monthly zodiac readings again and the human design profile readings. I love how those readings were going, and just some of the responses that I've gotten from you guys who have watched those readings. Thank you for commenting, of course, because it helps me out. But also, I love hearing about other people's experiences, regardless of kind of where you're at on your journey. You know, if you feel compelled to comment, please do. I will say that I am a little slow getting back to comments, so just please be mindful of that. Sometimes I get an email and sometimes I don't, and I don't get notifications unless I log into regular YouTube on my laptop. It's possible that I am blind and it's operator error and I don't see it in the studio, the YouTube studio where I upload videos to. So anyway, blah, blah, disclaimer. I will see your comment eventually, and I will respond eventually because I do appreciate the engagement. So I've been talking for 7 minutes exactly. So let's get the message here. What is the overall energy of this reading here? Collective, overall, what's the vibe? As always, they do actually have to fall out on the table. I'm really only looking for one card though. The masculine, interesting. Purity. I don't really think we're going to use the bottom of the deck because I think that would just be kind of too much, but that is just kind of interesting. So the masculine. I'm just staring at everything that is going on in this card. I should be just kind of showing you too. You know, I mean, we have the moon phases up here. We have a couple children back here. It definitely has this vibe of protection and wanting to provide. I mean, of course, you know, it could have to do with relationship. That's not necessarily, you know, the feeling that I get from it. Of course, you know, with all of my readings ever, please use your own intuition. You know, just because I don't say it doesn't mean that the message isn't relevant, you know. But of course, there's kind of that thin line between, am I trying to fit this into my experience, or is it, you know, kind of a flow type of thing, which is interesting, actually, now that I say that, because trying to fit something into an experience versus letting it flow is very masculine versus feminine, because the feminine is going to let it flow. The feminine is, you know, intuitive, receptive, flowy. The masculine is initiating, you know, going after something, trying to fit an experience into a reading. But even that is a message within itself, right? I mean, everything, literally everything is a message. So, of course, check in with your own authority. But like I said, I just kind of get this feeling of like protection, wanting to, that's okay. Okay. Wanting to provide, we have these children back here. So there could be a family element to this. You could have children. It could even be like inner child, like you and a sibling, you and, like a cousin. It could be, I mean, gosh, it even could be you and your higher self also. I mean, truly, this card is like literally taking me all over the place so far, and we haven't even really gotten started yet. I know I haven't like flipped that over. I don't know why. I also, okay. We're not taking all of those because that was operator error. And I forgot what I was going to say anyway. Oh, I think I didn't flip it over yet because I think I wasn't really like done talking about that card yet. This has a very like Two of Wands feel to it too. Obviously, like being literal because he's holding two stakes here, but that is traditionally like how the Two of Wands is depicted is, somebody is standing between these two wands, and it's kind of like, okay, what actions do I want to take? Like, how do I want to go about doing this thing? There's also, like I was pointing out before, the moon phases up there. So there could even be something related to that. Like really using, like the new moons with setting new intentions, the full moons with letting go of what's no longer serving, and what can you release in order to make room for the new stuff that you set intentions for during a new moon. And specifically, we have a full moon there, so it may be more about releasing. Of course, just wanting to be careful about both the masculine and the feminine being out of balance for too long. Like, of course, there's times where, the masculine comes out a bit more to like get things moving forward, kind of push a little bit, initiate. But then there's also times where you're doing that, at your detriment, and, allowing that kind of feminine energy to come back in to even things out. Let's see what these are. That's what's up. We have the Sun. Interesting. We have the Sun, the Two of Swords, and the Three of Swords. Very interesting here. All right, let's just get clarifiers for each one of those. Give me one card for the Sun. One card for each, really. I mean, if 3 cards want to come out at one time, we could do that. It's so interesting, the like literal juxtaposition. I've used that more times in my life, right in this 12 minutes than like ever. But it's interesting that we have, I'm talking about the moon. We have a lot of moon presence on that card, which isn't like necessarily masculine. Like, I don't know. Do you think of the moon when you think of masculine? Like, not really. But, you know, and then to have the sun be the next card. Really kind of pushing for that. Yeah, exactly. Really pushing for creating the life that you envision. Stability, you know, foundation. And then a card for the Two of Swords. See, this is why I sometimes don't. There we go. Okay. Okay. Oh, interesting. I wonder. Because I don't, like, I was originally going to do it this way and then I switched them. I mean, we're going to talk about each one of these cards anyway, but yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. So, okay. I just needed to move things around, make sure everything was in view so you can see everything. So everything that I said before, right? With the sun is like, I mean, it's everything good, right? I mean, it's bliss, it's joy, it's literally like life force. This could be sacral energy if you are a sacral being in the realm of human design. So if you're a generator or manifesting generator, doesn't have to be. But we have this, like in this depiction here, you can see this path here. And with it coming out next to the sun card, I get this, or excuse me, next to the masculine card, it was literally the first card out, right? And pretty quickly. So to me, it just kind of has this vibe of wanting to even forge your own path. Or maybe you made this decision that you were going to go after it, like no more playing small. Maybe you've gotten really clear on what your perfect situation is, like, you know, what type of work you want to do, what type of home you want to have, what type of family, you know, everything. It's like, you know, I realize like what I don't want. I now know what I do want. And I absolutely love that it's paired with the Seven of Wands, because the Seven of Wands is not going to give up. Absolutely not. I mean, look at and I love that, you know, the depiction here is of a masculine. And technically we only have two masculines on the table in the tarot cards, at least, which are these two here. But the Seven of Wands talks about standing your ground, being defensive, but it's like defending your actions, defending what you're doing and why you're doing it. You know, there's these stakes coming up here, which is, again, interesting that I was even kind of getting the Two of Wands feeling from the masculine card. But I always see these 6 wands down here. So, the figure is holding a wand, obviously, kind of in a fighting stance. And then there's these 6 wands coming up at them, right? And I see those as being other people's projections, like they're projecting their fear, their doubt, their concern, their worry, like, I don't know if this is going to work, or how dare you dream so big, right? Or because there's the societal stuff, right? Like traditionally you do this type of work, you go to school, you work full time, you get married, you have kids, you blah blah blah, whatever it is for wherever you're located, or even just your family dynamic. But if you've kind of made a different decision, or if your idea of what is a good life for you or what makes you happy is different than that, then that's where this comes in. But also, like I was saying, it's this energy of not giving up. Like, I am not letting go of whatever this idea is. And you shouldn't. No, don't give up. Stand your ground. And then we have the 2 of Swords with the High Priestess. And this to me just kind of feels like just not knowing what to do. Really. I mean, the 2 of Swords talks about indecision. And in this depiction, she's holding, he or she, they, is holding these 2 masks here. Like, which mask do I want to wear? How do I want to present myself? But also, that might be where, the struggle is coming from, is, you want this. How do you get it? How do you get there? I want to look at the book really quick because let's see. Day in and day out, we present different aspects of ourselves to the world, and even those closest to us. Each of us wears so many masks that sometimes we are in danger of forgetting our own true nature. The woman has no facial features. She has yet to choose what parts of herself she will reveal to the world. And honestly, there's really nothing, quote unquote, like wrong with being in that energy, especially, if you're like doing a lot of like deconditioning work where, like I was saying over here, you have gotten clear on what you want, what path you want to go on, even if you have to forge that path yourself. So then it's almost like this feeling of like, how does that look? How do I make decisions on this path? Because if it is something that you haven't done before, then this is very much the energy of that, because then it's like, oh my, having to make different decisions than the ones that you've made for like literally ever. And especially, and I love that, again, I know I said that over here, but I love that it's paired with the High Priestess, because I see the High Priestess as our higher selves. It's like that direct link between us and our higher self, our star player, right? And along the way in life, we're just conditioned to get further and further away from this vibe. So then when it comes a point where you're like, I want to do things, I want to make decisions based on my own alignment. It's like learning to listen to your own calling. Swords, it's very much about like our thoughts, our perceptions, like how we perceive reality. It's a lot of ego for me because that's generally where we hear our ego, is in our minds. I love how like both of these figures, like their hair is blowing in the wind too. It's just like this high priestess is helping you figure out like how you want to present to the world, or and again, even just checking in with yourself when you are making these decisions, like, okay, is this decision, if I make it this way or that way, which one is going to get me closer to this? Like, is that decision based on old conditioning and just what I've been accustomed to doing and what I've been taught to do? Or is it a little bit scary? Is it unknown because I've never, kind of, one, allowed myself to have the freedom to make that decision from a different place outside of conditioning, and really just, checking in with yourself. Is this going to get me closer to where I want to go? Or am I scrambling and masking and scared, right? All of that is relevant. And if you don't know, if you don't have an answer, if the answer does not intuitively come to you, not from the mind, but from the body, if it doesn't come to you right away, and if you have the ability to, don't make a decision yet. Just wait. Wait until you get clear. Move on even to something else. I mean, like, put your energy into something else, a different thought, a different project, whatever it is, until, like I said, clarity comes. And then this pairing, so this deck specifically has these two depictions of the Three of Swords, and then it also has two different depictions of the Ten of Swords. So there's 80 cards in this deck because of those two extra. And this depiction of the Three of Swords is like the traditional. So the traditional meaning is rejection, heartbreak, things, just didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. But this is heartbreak as far as like the way that it lives in our mind. Like, what story have we attached to an experience? And how is that sabotaging us moving forward? Or just staying, stuck, or going backwards. Then in this depiction of the Three of Swords. It's using that experience as knowledge. You know, we have this book open, there's all these letters coming out of it. Let me just... We've learned from the Ace of Swords, truth and creativity, combined with the Two of Swords, the ability to make choices and proper discernment, brings us the growth and expansion of the mind through multiplicity, new ways of thinking and seeing things. It calls for harmony and equilibrium between the two forces that once were opposing. For this reason, the card portrays the image of a young man in the midst of gaining knowledge. Three swords stand upright, piercing the book of thought, unlocking the living knowledge as it flies off the pages. They take flight and enter the receptive grail of the mind, a fertile ground where their seeds can germinate and develop fully and properly if tended to. I mean, this is literally like choosing. There's literally a choice here. This could even just be, you know, based on prior experience, right? Like not, you know, I mean, that could be where your concern comes from. It could even be a little bit in here. It could even explain why the masculine showed up, because it's almost like, depending on what that experience was for you, it's wanting to do everything in your power to control things so that this doesn't happen again. Like, so you don't feel rejected. You don't feel heartbroken. You're not disappointed, frustrated, angry, all of kind of those not so good feelings, right? And there's this opportunity or even like an invitation to use this. You know, it's almost like, you know, radical acceptance, like accept that that was the experience of that situation for whatever reason. That doesn't mean that it's going to be the experience of everything that you ever do or whatever this thing is that you're trying to do now, right? It's taking that as what it is, which is it's information, it's knowledge. This can even be a thing about gaining more knowledge. Like maybe you need a little bit more mental stimulation. Maybe it's a matter of learning a little bit more about this thing. It could even be, you know, talking to people that are already doing that thing, gaining some insight, watching videos, like searching on YouTube. I search on TikTok a lot now for stuff. Reddit is another good thing, right? Like just almost even to just kind of ease your mind. Even if these were switched though, because I know like kind of at the beginning it was, I had them like this originally. And even if they were this way, so, you know, the Two of Swords we talked about, unmasking, you know, kind of figuring out where you fit with things. And then the Three of Swords, you know, knowledge. It's almost even making a decision based on the information that you have, being very logical and almost like kind of practical in the decisions that you're making, how you're showing up. And this to me would signify healing with the high priestess. Because again, this is going to have the same meaning as far as heartbreak, rejection, all those things that we already talked about, right? And the high priestess is here like, No, we're going to heal those things. And also look to your intuition. Feel in your body what the message is trying to come through. And then we have the awakening card at the bottom of the deck, which is judgment. I believe this is the card that comes after the sun. Is that right? And then the world. Yep. Awakening and then the world. So, just look. Look at this. We have this figure here that is shedding its skin. The judgment card is like the ultimate transformation. You've gone through this process, whatever this process is. And again, it's going to fit your situation differently. It can be a relationship. It can be business. It can be, and relationship can be romantic or platonic. It could just be a healing journey that you've been on, like inner child work, reparenting yourself. It could have to do with your family. And even, I was mentioning there about your higher self. And then the high priestess shows up here also in the same card or the same reading. But all of this here, this whole experience is leading to this transformation. And this isn't always easy. It's not like, the road to get here was rainbows and butterflies, right? It had its ups and downs. There was a lot of knowledge gained here, a lot of trial and error, seeing things that you didn't quite see before, or you saw them from a different perspective with the swords. So if you're not here yet, this is coming, or this is even the goal. And then we have the Page of Pentacles behind there, which is, the Page of Pentacles is the Apprentice card for me. This is setting off on, it's taking practical action on something new. It could be a new job. It could be studying something new. It could be taking a course. It could be school. It could be starting a business, starting another one. It could just be adding a stream of income. But, this figure here found this key. So it's like right behind this awakening card is this new path. Because this key was found. We have the Ace of Wands behind there. Are you kidding me? Desired action, passion, creativity. There's this phoenix here rising from the ashes, literally. Okay. New beginnings, King of Cups, Knight of Cups. What's behind here? Tower, Temperance. Ten of Cups at the top of the deck. This is beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. I will be talking to you a lot more soon. Bye.